Hey guys, before we start this week's episode, just obviously wanted to get it out the way. We're not going to talk about the elephant in the room, but obviously, since last week's episode, the world's got a little bit shittier. So just wanted to say thanks for tuning in, joining us this week. Hopefully, for the next hour or so, we give a little bit of a distraction and maybe even put a little smile on your face. So yeah, thanks for joining us. And now on with the show.
And now, coming to you live from the tri-state area and San Francisco, California, it's the best part of Wednesday, Waffle Box, with your hosts, Mike Fish and Kush Hayes.
Welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. Coming up on episode 39, we've got an easy way for dog lovers to make money. We have How Safe Is Your Password, Kush's movie review, and so much more. I am Mike Fish, and as always, I am joined by the man himself, Mr. Kush Hayes. Kush, how you doing, my man?
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here, coming to Waffle Box, the best part of Wednesdays. And I'm looking forward to today's episode, Mike. Like, I'm still fuzzy on topics, but this is my favorite time of the week, my man. No jive.
Absolutely, it's made even better now. I've discovered how to play my jingles live from the recording, so I've got a little soundboard here. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. It might get annoying for everyone else, but at least I'll be having fun. That's the main thing.
Okay, there you go. That's fair.
What have you been up to, man? What have you been up to since we last spoke 7 long days ago?
I've been absorbing the current news and comparing it and contrasting. Well, how bad do I really got it over here? I'm not a fan of various neighbors, and the fact that I have to look both ways before exiting my house, just to make sure a motorcycle doesn't hit me on the way to walking onto the sidewalk. Yeah, that's new. I don't like that. So,
fun.
This is the world we live in now. Obviously, there are bigger shit going on, but yeah, that's still dangerous.
Tell you what I've been up to in the last 7 days.
What have you been up to? I hope it's been way better than my experience.
It has. I've been discovering things. Discovering things. So I can't remember the exact. I think I was looking for like the link to our Apple Podcasts. Mm-hmm. By the way, we are available on Apple Podcasts. And so I went onto Google and I was planning on typing in Waffle Box Apple Podcasts so I could copy the link and use it. But as soon as I was typing in Waffle Box, Google suggested, "Oh, do you mean the Waffle Box bar?" And I was like, what? And I discovered that in Brooklyn, traffic in this part of the world is a nightmare. So let's just say it's an hour's drive. But in Brooklyn, there's a place called the Waffle Box Bar, and they sell, obviously, waffles, ice cream, rotisserie chickens, waffle fries, the whole thing. It looks amazing. And
that's going to be some good chicken too. I can tell you that already from 3,000 miles away. That's going to be some good chicken.
I checked out their Instagram. Chicken looks good.
I believe that.
It looks like, the Costco rotisserie chicken, which is...
No. But I get plenty of rotisserie chicken from the local Luckies and all that. So we are a rotisserie eating household here.
It's a great rotisserie chicken. But yeah, so I'm definitely going to check that out, even just for the photo. I'm going to... Because they got merch, so I want to, they got a T-shirt with Waffle Box on. I'm definitely gonna buy one of those, if anything. So shout out to Waffle Box Bar in Brooklyn. You'll be seeing me soon.
And don't send your lawyers after us.
No, indeed. Or maybe I could. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were open before we started this podcast. So yeah, we're happy to join your family, my friends. We will
be cool, guys.
Peace. We come in peace. So yeah, just going to start the little plugs a little earlier, just because I want to give a shout out to Jeremy from the Classic Guitar Rock Podcast, who did our little voiceover, new voiceover this week. So I like
his voice.
He's got a nice voice, and so I did a thing on Twitter a couple of days ago where I was like, "Hey, it feels kind of weird me doing the voiceover because I'm not very good at it, and I'm whatever."
It needs to be an outside party.
It needs to be an outside party, and then I got several people sending me their offerings, so I might switch them up. I might switch them up, so next week you might hear a different voice. But Jeremy from the Classic Guitar Rock podcast. Thank you very much for lending your voice. And also, as a little plug, coming up this Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern will be the return of Late Night Syrup Live, where I will be chatting to the man himself, talking about his podcast coming up. So check that out on the Waffle Box YouTube and Twitch page. All the links will be on the social medias, but check that out. Anyway, let's get on. Should we dive in to our first topic? Maybe we don't want to dive in, but so easy way to make money for a dog-loving friends and family. So first story starts off with a plant-based pet food company in Britain, my homeland, doing me proud as always. They are offering to pay a dog owner more than $6,000 to switch their canine's diet for 2 months and keep track of the pet's poop smells. So I'm going to be honest.
To like use the house and all
that. Yeah. Well, so the headline was company offers more than $6,000 to smell dog poop for 2 months. Which obviously is not exactly how it, because if someone comes to me and says, hey, do you want to smell dog poop for 2 months? Give you $6,000. I might be like, maybe, I don't know. But if it's my dog's poop, it's not that bad. $6,000. But here's the weird thing about it though, as if it isn't weird already. So
it's already weird.
So basically, this company called Omni, they specialize in plant-based dog food, and it's seeking a dedicated dog owner to sniff their dog's poop to test the effect of a plant-based diet has on the dog's digestion, stool odor, and general health.
Okay.
The winning applicant will be paid $6,685.82.
That's very specific.
It's incredibly specific. And so I did some research on this. I was like, well, maybe what it is, maybe it's the conversion. Like maybe this is like something more specific in pounds.
Is in pounds or Australian dollars or some bullshit like that.
It's not. It's still, even in like UK money, it's like 5,160. It's weird. I don't understand how they came to that amount. Unless
That's
maybe
a very weird number.
Divided by something, it works out they're paying you per hour. I don't know, but still very.
Unless they've already calculated that state's tax, which is something that most companies just don't do that. All right. Neurotic guys like me wish for that to happen, but companies don't do that.
So what you mean, like pay you extras to cover the tax, basically? So after tax, you'll still get.
You'll get the 6,000 flat.
Well, they don't do that in the UK. They pre-tax everything. So that's why I love. So this time of year, not to get too off topic already, but tax season is upon us here in the US. Ain't really got to worry about that, or unless you're self-employed and own your own company, that's different. But as just a person, a regular old Joe who works a 9 to 5, you just sit around and wait, and then towards the end of April, if you're lucky, you get a letter from the government to say, "Oh, by the way, whoops, we took too much tax. Here's a check." It's awesome. I haven't got to worry about anything.
That's in the UK.
That's in the UK.
No, gotcha. Yeah, no, we have to gather all our paperworks. So if you've had more than one job, you've got more than one paperworks. And I said it like that specifically. I got everything's due by the 31st of January. If it ain't there by the 1st, there's a problem. State of California, you keep sending me my shit in February, that we got a problem. However, we got all our shit done the other day. We signed it. We sent it off. We're apparently getting a refund. Thank you to our accountant, Bill. And done. Yeah. I hate tax season. Like I've very close examples to me where they would freak out all the way up until like the last week of the due date in April. And then they would just file the extension and do the same shit to themselves all the way up until August. And I was like, why would you just, you could just also file the extension in February if it's that big of a deal, but also why not just get that shit out of the way?
Yeah, if you
April's now
money,
4 months after that.
It's not going to change. Just get out of the way. Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yes. My point exactly.
So
because of that example, I get that shit done post haste. If it ain't done before March, I feel weird.
Are you like? So you're not like Ned Flanders who does it January 1st.
I would if I didn't have to wait on those goddamn paperworks.
That's true.
I would. That shit would be done January 2nd because I gotta sleep off January 1st. Come on, let me sleep.
Anyway, let's get back to the dog poop because that's
You
what
did
everyone's.
rant off. Sorry,
it did. No, that's my fault. But yeah, so apparently they're pretty confident that it's going to improve the dog's digestion, energy levels, and general health. Because apparently they're already getting some feedback that dog stools have improved in terms of color, consistency, and smell. So what better way to demonstrate this than by willing to pay a dog owner to sniff their dog's poop once they've switched to our brand of dog food?
Okay, so it is still your dog.
It's your dog. So they're giving you their food and they're paying you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just feed your dog their food.
Mm-hmm.
Although nothing against vegetarians. Again, I'm not going to jump on them, but don't dogs need like meat and stuff? I don't know. They're wolves. Surely it's not going to be good in the long run.
They are pretty much used to a meat style diet for sure. There's not too many vegisaurs in the canine family. None I've ever met. So,
in the final
we'll see how this goes.
In the final quote of the story, they use a phrase that I don't think you should use when you're discussing dog feces. It says, we know that this is quite a peculiar vacancy, but we also know that this is the way for us to put our money where our mouth is. Don't discuss putting anything in your mouth.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's no.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No.
So
no.
Bad boy.
Bad.
Back in your bed. But yeah, if you are interested, if you have a dog and you're listening to this or watching this and you want to get paid that $6,685.82 because tax season, I don't know.
Dog walking entrepreneurs are going to have a field day with this. So I see more dog walkers than dog owners getting this.
Applications open till March 31st. So check out the Omni company's website. To be fair, I don't even know if it's available to Americans. It might be English, but
still,
check it out.
Just England only. UK only.
Maybe that's just me being picky. Talking about picky segue. Terrible segue. I'm not proud of that one.
You'll get it next time, babe.
Things you pick, your nose. Anyway, so next story comes to us from New York. Concrete.
I was just listening to that song.
Made of. Town so good they named it twice, even though they technically didn't, because New York is just New York City, New York State. Anyway, but who am I going to argue with him? Yeah. Anyway,
you British chaps are fussy like that.
We are very particular. So doctors at a New York hospital said a man who came in complaining of difficulty breathing through his right nostril was found to have a tooth growing in his nasal cavity.
That is also not a better. That is not better.
No, navel. See, I'm gonna. So Doctors Sagar Khanna and Michael Turner, surgeons with Mount Sinai Health System in New York, said in a case study published in the New England Journal of Medicine that a 38-year-old man told doctors he had been having trouble breathing through his right nostril for several years. Now, this is where we get to know each other a little bit more, Kush. Because, we're guys. We're guys.
Bros.
We're guys.
Dudes.
We do guy things, right? Right.
My European brother from another mother.
Indeed. So, obviously, you don't have to show me or anything like that. Don't worry, I'm not going there. Don't worry. Relax. But from time to time, are you guilty of picking your nose?
Oh, yes, and I've devised it now. I've modified my game to. I just take a hot shower in the morning, and I blow all that snot out, and it is not a thing for the rest of the day. If I don't do that, it is a problem all goddamn day. So, but yes.
Now, going a little bit further. So sometimes, have you ever had the old finger up the nostril, picking away, and then you feel something maybe a little bit hard. But sometimes you get like a little scab. You never had a little
No,
scab just inside the nose or anything like that?
definitely haven't had a scab. Thankfully, I've had a
No?
pimple or two. That's unpleasant, but
Okay,
no
but
scabs.
oh yeah, I was talking about maybe like in the winter where you're blowing it a lot, or whether it gets a little scabby or whatever. And
Mhm.
however, the point is, let's just say then, let's role play. Let's say you put your finger up your nose and you feel something hard.
Mhm.
You're gonna be picking at that until you get it out, right? You're gonna be, what the fuck is this in my nose?
I'm definitely going to investigate as best I can. I'm going to probably even work a thing with a mirror and a light. At some point though, like if it's because the spoiler alert, it's a tooth.
It's a fucking
Because
tooth in
it's
his
a tooth,
nose.
it's a bone. It's embedded to your skull. That thing ain't moving whatsoever. So at some point, I give up trying to dislodge it,
Yeah,
and then
but
that goes to
you'd see someone.
self-investigation.
You wouldn't wait 7 years.
No, I probably wouldn't waste 7 years. Although if it's not bothering me, if it doesn't hurt, like it took me 20 plus years to get my bottom wisdom teeth out, and I was like, they're not bothering me. But then I was like, oh, the state's paying for it. I'm out. Let's do it. It's COVID time. I got nothing time to heal.
So this guy had already said he was having trouble breathing
7 years
for 7 years.
Well,
He's an
what
idiot.
is oxygen though?
What is it?
Who's breathing these days, Mike? I breathe through my mouth. All right, maybe I snore a little, and that's why I can't find a woman for more than 6 weeks. But
hey, baby. That's what that looks like. Don't breathe through your mouth, guys. Doctors discovered that he had a deviated septum, a condition in which the partition between the nasal passages is pushed to one side, and a rhinoscopy. Sure, why not?
Nose plastic surgery for the nose.
He conducted with a small camera, discovered the cause, a tooth growing on the floor of the right nostril. So that's, under there. That's under there. For those watching.
Right
there. The topic.
That'd be very noticeable.
It would be.
Me being me, I'd be like, is this a fucking tumor? Like, it wouldn't dawn on me that it's a tooth, and I would have definitely dismissed pimple months prior to that. But yeah, 7 years.
I can feel my teeth. That's not if I felt that in my nose, I'd be worried. I wouldn't just.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
So
by the way, the teeth that we have versus the teeth that you can't see, they're two different animals.
Well, now who's being particular, Mr. Hayes?
But when that's in your nostril, it's very distinctive. Like it's even bigger.
All
than
right,
what you think.
Size doesn't matter. The ectopic tooth, a term for a groove tooth growing in a normal place, was measured at about 0.6 of an inch long.
That's
that's like just under 2 centimeters. That's pretty big for a tooth in the nostril.
That's what I'm saying. It's the roots and everything.
Yeah, girthy. The surgeon said that they removed the tooth without complications, and the man reported during a follow-up visit 3 months later after the procedure that he was able to breathe normally through both nostrils. Huzzah! But, you
never know till you get that shit done, man. Again, I got my wisdom teeth out 2 Octobers ago now. Again, it's COVID times. I got no excuses now. There's no job tomorrow. I got nothing but time to heal. So I was like, let's yank those suckers out since they don't cost me a dime. And again, they weren't bothering me before we did it, but after they did, teeth straightened out. Like they're still a little crooked, but look, my 4 bottom teeth here used to look like people standing in line in a soup kitchen, and now they look like the Rockettes. All right, it's a very distinctive.
It's improvement.
It's very noticeable, and I wish I'd got it done 25 years ago.
Yeah, you don't want to miss it because I found that out the hard way as well. Because even though they're not quote unquote bothering you, apparently wisdom teeth will quote unquote impact the rest of your teeth. And so when I eventually got my wisdom teeth taken out, I had to get the ones next door as well because they'd fucked them up enough. So I had to get 4 teeth out in one sitting, which was fun.
I can relate.
It wasn't fun.
It doesn't sound fun.
It wasn't. And I think I've told this story actually before, but anyway, I'll quickly say it again. So I'm a baby, basically. I'm a wimp. So when they do that injection to numb your, yeah, before my dentist would do would give me like that little gel that they give to children.
This is awesome.
Just to numb it a little bit before they numb it for real, you know what I mean? Obviously,
my dentist does that for me. I didn't think it had anything to do with kids. I thought I was just like, modern science has finally caught up with us. I don't finally have to worry about the shot. Like,
dentistry numb that shit up. Barbaric still when you think about it. But yeah, this guy, I had to go to a special surgeon to get the wisdom teeth taken out, and obviously he didn't get the memo, and he just went straight in with that fucking needle. I was like, what the fuck?
Look,
and it's like basically a pair of pliers, and they whip them out.
Yes, and when I got the top 2 wisdom teeth taken out 20 plus years ago against my wishes, the dentist he was a Scientologist or whatever. He was whatever that religion is that doesn't believe in pain medication. So I demanded to get the gas. He put a little apparatus just on the nostril here, turned it on just enough so that the nose hairs are just being tickled, but I am fully conscious during this. So the first one comes right out. No big deal. I'm a little surprised because I was still, you can't brace yourself for that. You just can't. Second one, it's a little crooked, Mike Fish, and it doesn't come out as simple, and it's still not coming out. And at one point, this motherfucker actually put his foot on my shoulder, and again, you can't prep yourself for that. So I don't know what the look on my face was, but this motherfucker had the gall to just start laughing at me like, you should see the look on your face right now. And I was like, I hate you, and I'm never coming back here again. And that's probably why it takes me forever to go see a dentist prior to the COVID. Yeah. Oh, what an asshole. I fucking hate that guy. And I hate that guy so much. I have never remembered his name. I just never went back. And that was my first wisdom teeth story. And it was a goddamn nightmare. The surgery I had to get these impacted ones out 2 Octobers ago, piece of cake compared.
You don't want to fuck around with teeth. Because I had right at the beginning of the pandemic, I chipped my front teeth.
Ooh, awful.
And I was like, whatever. It's not that. But obviously over time, shit started to get worse. And by the time I actually got around to getting to the dentist, I guess it got bad enough where they pretty much had to like carve away half my teeth and then rebuild it. And it was the whole process, and it happened over 2 visits. So I had a week where I had like 2 really nice teeth next to this really fucked up tooth. And I was even though I was only sitting at home, I was so
they can't brush away the decay, man. They literally got to scrape it off, and that means going past where the infection is. So that means you have less of a tooth at the beginning of the prep. So and then they got to do the mold.
The moral of the story is, whether it's in your mouth or up your nose, if you have a tooth problem, get that shit taken care of as soon as possible.
If it's significantly noticeable, just do it, guys. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I had a thing with my knee that I waited over 90 days to get fixed.
Was there a tooth in your knee?
There was not a tooth in my knee, but the story resolves so simply. You're like, you fucking idiot. But that is a story for another time that I'm going to say, because we're off schedule now. My bad.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's wrap up the first half of the show with a new segment, which we're bringing it, and it's going to be this week's Dumb World Record of the week.
These are always fun.
Why?
Why? Why would I? Why? Why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why would you want to do that?
Why indeed would you want to do that? So this week's Dumb World Record of the Week comes to us from the land down under, Australia. G'day, mate. So I did a That Mike Fish Show presentation, which aired last weekend with Beck Becker, and funny enough, an Australian man watched that show and then commented to me saying it was really cool that there were other Australian content creators out there. I was like, dude, I'm not Australian, I'm English. How did you miss that? You're Australian. What the hell? But maybe, I don't know, maybe my quasi living in America for 6 years, weird accent amalgamation is becoming Australian. Who knows? But yeah,
Australia is the Florida of the Southern
Australia.
Hemisphere. I'm sorry, Australia, but it's true.
Anyway, so this man, Brendan Kelby, 22 years old.
That's a good name, I gotta say.
Yeah. Oh, actually, no. Actually, yes. No. Sorry. Yes, it is Brendan Kelby. Sorry, I was got raised. So this man broke the world record for stacking M&Ms on top of each other.
That sounds very difficult. How did he manage to achieve that, Mike Fish?
I don't know. I don't care. But try to guess how many M&Ms he stacked.
If he did more than 3, I'm impressed. If he just got 3 of them, I'm super impressed.
This man, this alpha male of a man, stacked six M&Ms on top of each other. So
okay, yeah, I'm impressed.
Apparently, for the world record to stand, they have to be standing on top of each other and for at least 10 seconds for it to stand. So he had 6 M&Ms on top of each other for over 10 seconds, and he holds the world record now. Congratulations.
Now, was it a 2-dimensional triangle or is it a 3-dimensional pyramid?
All it says was a stack. So I'm going to assume it's on top of each other. Because 6, even though still difficult in a triangle, would be a lot easier than 6 on top of each other. No, yes. So yeah, he captured by stacking 6 M&Ms into a tower that stood. So yeah, 1 on top of each other.
Wow, a full tower. That's even more impressive because I was just going with like bricklaying. Yeah.
But this man, he's just a gift that keeps on giving, my friends. Because he is quoted as saying, "I've decided to break this record because I'm a serial record breaker. And I am a versatile world record holder," the 22-year-old said from Australia.
I would say that's going to get him put on a list, but ironically, that is the goal, is to get put on a list.
Maybe he's on a record break. He wants to be on as many lists as possible. Maybe. He holds 6 Guinness World Records and is not allowed within 100 yards of a school.
Yeah, we're going to hear more about this gentleman in the future. I guarantee it, Mike Fish.
Do you want me to read you some of the other records he currently holds?
Yes, I do.
Ooh! So the Australians' upper records include the most drumstick flips in 1 minute. Which
Tommy Lee's going to beat that record, but I've also been watching Pam and Tommy on Hulu this month.
I'll get into that in a minute. With 9, so longest duration spinning a basketball on a pair of glasses.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's very specific again, but
incredibly specific.
You also have to forge your own path, Mike Fish.
So this one, the tallest tower of dice stacked on the back of the hand in 30 seconds whilst blindfolded.
Oh, fuck off.
Like, he just keeps like, hey, what if I want to stack dice? No, that's already done. What about if I stack them on the back of my hand? No? Okay.
Number of shots of Fireball while wearing a sock on my genitalia while singing Lovely Lady Lumps. All right. I have to keep doing shots during the song, but that's the record. But specifically while I'm wearing a sock on my junk. That's the record. No one's got that record. In fact, I'm just going to claim it right now and say I've done it, Mike Fish. I did 60 of them.
He stacked 13 dice on the back of his hand in 30 seconds whilst blindfolded. So
also impressive for what that is. I
mean, it is impressive, but it's also what the fuck, like the jingle says. Why would you do that?
He's a creator. This man has got creativity. It's not focused correctly, but he's doing shit. Okay, he's doing more than most folks I know.
But okay, so I like to think I'm the kind of person that's open-minded, very liberal, very snowflakey, and all that bullshit. All right. And there are some things like, hey, look, I might not get it, I might not understand it, but I can appreciate there's people out there that are different from me and they probably dig it. That's really cool. So good for them. I'm just still, maybe I'm getting old-fashioned now. I'm 36. But I just can't imagine that there are that many people that are going to be impressed by a man who can stack dice on the back of his hand whilst blindfolded. It's an incredibly
It's not going to get his dick
niche
sucked, but
thing.
it's definitely a conversation starter.
It's a conversation ender. Like, no one's going to want to talk to this guy.
It's a conversation that's going to hold 90 seconds. You're like, wow, so how'd you get into that? And then he's going to tell you, like, okay. And you could have follow questions like, well, how long did you train for this? And, 3 days, a week, a month, whatever. And then you're like, all right, like, it's not going to be a long conversation, but it's still a conversation starter.
It's going to hold the Guinness World Record for the most vaginas dried up in a room in 30 minutes.
Well, shit. That's another record right there, man.
There you go. Add that one. You're welcome.
I don't want that record, but someone has to have it. Why not this gentleman?
Why not? He's only 22, to be fair. He's got the world at his feet.
22. He is doing more at the age of 22 than I did at 22. Okay, I wasn't in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah,
I had to wait till 43 to get put in the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
All right.
22, I wasn't
Flex.
shit. It's a stat I have.
It's a stat. Anyway, so shout out.
I'm probably not going to top that.
Brendan Kelby, Guinness World Record holder. We salute you. Still to come.
I'm impressed, dude. Yeah.
Kush
I might
is
want
impressed.
to interview this guy for Microdose.
There you go. Reach out. You got a podcast to be on. Anyway, still to come, we're going to talk about internet security, which is going to be super, super, super fun, probably. Talking about Studio 666 and a little bit more. But we'll be right back after this break. Hey, you. Yes, you. Was you thinking of having that beer? But my friend, it's only 10 a.m. Won't everyone judge you for drinking this early? Well, don't worry, we've got just the thing to help you. Your very own Waffle Box mug. And now, everyone will just think you're drinking coffee, so you can enjoy your morning beer judgment-free. Go to wafflemerch.com to get yours today. Welcome back to the second half of this week's Waffle Box. This little article.
I like our new transition music, Mike. It's funky.
Pretty sweet, right? You can make it dance, right? Makes you want to dance.
Yeah. I always throw your show off, baby. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right, sweetie.
I just like what I do.
So internet security, very important. I want to make sure that your shit's safe, right? So I came across this article about password securities, and it's basically the whole gist of it was, how passwords were basically the whole premise of a password was created in the 60s or 70s, and yet obviously technology has gone leaps and bounds, and yet our basic security hasn't, yada, 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 yada. But obviously passwords are a thing. We can't get around it right now. So this guy who's a ex-hacker or whatever, he gave 9 tips on not only how to improve your password, but basically things to watch out, like don't do this shit, right? And so I thought I'd just list them and then basically look at your face to see how nervous you get, to see if you fucked up how many times, basically. Ready?
Yeah, standing by.
All right, so some of the biggest password mistakes people make. Number 1, changing them too often. Interesting.
Well, I would add an asterisk to that is it's not changing it so often, it's not writing it down. That's the problem. Like,
We'll get to that.
I fucking have a fucking spreadsheet of every account that I need with passwords I'm not going to memorize, the usernames that get into those passwords, and then I bury that shit in the backyard and only pull it up when I need to.
Okay. Well, anyway, we'll get to that point in a minute. So basically, frequent password changes are counterproductive as people tend to swap one password out for another frequently used one. So basically,
that's fair.
And also, changed passwords may also be forgotten, and they can be stolen just as easy as passwords are changed quickly. So
I would also argue, though, that people would swap out those passwords, though, like once a year still. You know, like every now and then, Windows will pop up and it's like, you need to change your password. I was like, I don't want to change my password. Like, but it's been a year. I'm like, I don't.
And it hasn't been broken into, so leave it. It's not broke. Don't fix it.
And then you'll try and just re-enter the old password and be like, we can't use the old password. We can't use the last 3 old passwords. You gotta have a new password. Just sometimes security is a little too strong. Sometimes
it is. Well, point number 2. Another mistake is to make passwords too complex. Keep your passwords simple, but be smart about it. Studies that look at arbitrary passwords complexity requirements, e.g. one that calls for symbols and uppercase and lowercase letters, repeatedly find that these kinds of restrictions result in less secure passwords. For example, this is my password. Oh, I need a number 1 at the end. Boop. That everyone does that.
But I use number 4.
Ooh.
Everyone's thinking about number 1. It's one.
Yeah, and then
it's one keystroke down.
And then by the time they all move to number 2, you're still 2 steps ahead. No one's getting past.
Suck it, hackers.
Number 3, not screening them. Okay, the National Institute of Standards and Technology highly recommends comparing your password against lists of commonly used. Blah blah blah. Not going to do that. Bollocks. Then recycling the same ones, also an issue. Don't do that. Don't recycle the same ones.
But that's how I remember what they are. I'm sorry. Dog fart 4. Dog fart #4 is what it's. That's what I know. Shit.
Number 5, point number 5 was being too familiar. So don't use the following in passwords or answers to website security questions, i.e. loved ones' names or pet names, maiden names, hometowns, birthdays, wedding dates, all that yada, yada, yada. Because obviously nowadays all that shit can be very easily Googled and found if someone actually wanted to find that shit out about you.
I mean,
everyone's on Instagram. This is my pet. Oh, look at my pet. This is adorable. And then the security questions. What's your pet's name? Oh, it's Snuggles.
Anytime I've gotten a little too baked, and by the way, my name is Kush, so I get a little too baked every so often. But if I misenter my password more than 3 times, I get locked out of my account for like a half hour. And then for some reason, they send an email to that same account that goes like, "Did you know someone tried to get into your account?" And I'm like, I don't get that email for like 90 minutes, but like, passwords used to be very simple. Do you remember the old movie Hackers?
Sure.
All right, cool. Hackers, Hack the World, Angelina Jolie, a bunch of other folks that weren't anybody back in the day. Super fun movie. Technology-wise, does not hold up whatsoever because folks are getting excited over like, oh shit, she's got a 28.8 dial-up modem, son. Woo!
I remember I had one of
those. Well, at one point, passwords come up and they're like, the top 10 passwords are all like love, God, this, that, the other, and everything's just lowercase in these examples. But as time has gone along, as the internet's gotten more evolved, it went, well, you can't just be all lowercase. You got to have some uppercase. Then you got to have a number. Then you got to have
a special symbol
or whatever. A special symbol. Thank you, Mike. And tomorrow it's going to be something else. I keep getting my apps telling me like, you want to add your thumbprint? Like, not really. No.
Well, to be fair, that and your facial recognition is probably better than most passwords.
I definitely turned off facial recognition. But anyways.
We don't want to get into that. Because it's the deep state, man. But anyway, another one. Number 6. I'm very guilty of this. Remembering them on a device. Never use the save or remember me option on a public computer. But
public
that one's
computer,
obvious.
that's stupid.
Don't bother. Don't even
Yeah.
to be fair, if you fall for that one, you deserve to be hacked. You're an idiot.
Yes.
Number 7, using common, easily hacked characters.
Can we go back to that last one real quick? I know we're getting off track here. Have you ever been on a public computer and found someone that left their shit wide open?
Yes.
Are you a good person, Mike, and you just sign them out?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, yes, but if it's normally, because typically, most commonly, it's like Facebook or something. So what I typically tend to do is leave a funny Facebook status that basically is, hey, Dave Johnson should remember to log out of his Facebook account, yada, 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 post it, and then I log out.
Okay, well, that's funny. Okay, but as long as you're logging out.
Oh, yeah, I'm not like scrolling through his messages
solid.
and shit like that. And
No.
I
was at a hotel in Iowa like a decade ago, and I want to say it was like a basketball tournament in town. Some jabroni went to the only computer in the hotel, downloaded iTunes onto it, and then uploaded a new track that he absolutely needed, and then left it open. And I was like, oh my God. Like I could just start like just charging this dude like just the most ridiculous songs. No, I signed out and then I closed iTunes and I was just like, we should probably uninstall this too. But I just need to go to my Hotmail account and see what's going on.
How badly do you need iTunes that you're going to do it on a public computer? That's insane.
Yes, great question. We will never know.
We'll never know because now Spotify's a thing, and I'm sure you don't do it anymore. Number 7, don't use common, easily hacked characters. Stay away from these, especially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, quote unquote, QWERTY or password. Many hackers set on stealing information still use the guessing strategy as a point of entry. Instead of think of something complex yet memorable and personal to you. For example, now I'm not gonna read.
How much of a smooth brain are you that you're still using password? Like, goddamn, just the name of your dog, the name of your kid, the name of your knee joint, whatever, man. Like, there's anything but password.
Here's the scary part. Point 8, right? The most common mistake: not password protecting your mobile device. Believe it or not, 52% of people do not have a password on their cell phone. It's basically unlocked all the fucking time. But also, when they do, some of them, still use like the login 1234000. Fucking idiots. I don't do that. Although the worrying thing is, to unlock my phone, it's my PIN code.
Does the password do
anything?
So if
you steal my phone,
if you never lose the phone, like this phone is in my hand every 5 minutes. Okay, there's very rarely a time where this thing is not in my hand.
That's where you're getting too comfortable. What is up with my hair? There you go, fixed it. But yeah, if my phone and my debit card gets stolen, I'm fucked because it's the same.
See, this is why I don't do online banking.
Whatever, so much easier. And also, here we go. It's talking about you. So, number 9, storing a password list on your computer. A password cheat sheet is fine as long as it is not stored on your computer or smartphone. If you do that and your device is infected with malware, you're doomed. A pen and paper reminder kept in a safe place is better. Ideally, it will consist of hints rather than the actual passwords. So there you go. Your buried list in the backyard is fine.
12 paces left, 45 paces north.
Boom.
X marks the spot.
Now we all know Kush's information. But look at that. So yeah, that wasn't funny, but informative. Now we've all
Joke's on you. You're going to get hit by a motorcycle.
We're all better people, and we're all going to get hit by motorcycles, apparently. Anything you want to add on to that? Or should we get to everyone's favorite segment of the show?
Let's get into the segment. But yeah, guys, think better about stop using password. How regal are you that you're still using password?
All right. It's now time, everybody, for this week's Kush's movie review.
Yeah,
Kush's movie review.
So epic. So epic. This week's Kush's movie review is brought to us by the Foo Fighters Studio 666. Before we get into, so we're going to start something new this week as well. So I am going to test Kush's knowledge on the stars of the movies that he's reviewing. Now, obviously, I could have probably chosen a better week to start this because I'm not sure how Kush's knowledge of the Foo Fighters is. But still,
if the Foo Fighters are in any other movie besides this, I'll be very surprised. If the Foo Fighters come up in this contest, I will also be surprised because there's a couple cameo names, bigger names acting wise than the Foo Fighters. But I'm standing by Mike Fish.
So this week's first quiz is actually technically a music quiz because obviously Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters, yada yada yada. So I'm going to test your knowledge. And I'm going to ask you to name in 30 seconds as many bands that Dave Grohl has recorded with or has been a part of. Okay? So in 30 seconds, as many bands that Dave Grohl has recorded with. I'm going to start your timer now. Start whenever you're ready.
There's probably 3, but I'm going to say 2.
Name them.
Obviously, the Foo Fighters. I'm getting to that, man. It's the Foo Fighters and Nirvana.
Yep.
That's all I got. Nirvana and Foo Fighters. 2.
8 to go. You got
8 to go. I got nothing. I was not prepared for this. What is this? This is barbarity. What you, Mike? I think you're anti-Semitic. What is going on here?
I hate ginger people. So yeah, answers that you missed out on there. He was close. You nearly got them all. Scream.
I've never heard of him.
King Buzzo.
Never heard of it.
Probot. Killing Joke.
See the first comment.
Tenacious D.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Queens of the Stone Age.
Really? What did he do in Queens of the Stone Age?
He was their drummer, the studio drummer for the first album, I think, or second album.
I couldn't name a single song of theirs, but I know their name. So
no one knows.
I'm sure I've heard plenty of their shit on the radio, but I couldn't name a track of theirs.
9 Inch Nails.
Really?
He recorded, I think, half of their With Teeth album, which is apropos for the stories of this.
I'm very unfamiliar with
podcast.
9 Inch Nails. I don't know 9
And
Inch Nails. I know them, but you know.
Finally, Them Crooked Vultures. So that was a 10 that you could have chose from, but you did get Foo Fighters and Nirvana.
If he was in 9 Inch Nails, I was way out of my league.
He wasn't in 9 Inch Nails. He recorded with them for like an album. But anyway, that was fun. I'm sure next week will be easier for you. So yeah, Studio 666. Tell us about it. Kush, is it going to be Oscar worthy? Is it going to clean up at the next Oscars? Tell us.
Well, it was never going to be Oscar worthy. It was never going to make an appearance at the Oscars, unfortunately. But if you're a fan of the Foo Fighters, if you like the Dave Grohl, you've seen their music videos, and for the most part, they're very entertaining. They're fun. They're lighthearted. You feel good about yourself and about life at the end of that 4.5 minutes. Well, that's really all about they got in Studio 666. So Studio 666 is directed by BJ McDonnell. I might have just butchered his name there because these sunglasses are definitely dark and IMDb's print is very tiny. He does a lot of music videos. Don't worry about any of that. This is one of his first feature films, if not his second or third. But look, man, when a major band makes a movie, regardless of if it's in their first year or their 25th year, it's expected to be a certain time parameter. 80 minutes should be the minimum. You don't want to go longer than 90. This movie, for whatever reason, goes an hour and 50 minutes. It's a horror comedy, Studio 666. It's trying to be, self-parodying. So the Foo Fighters are getting ready to produce their 10th album. They're a little creatively bankrupt, though, and I think this is, some sour grapes, or whatever the German word is for that. But they,
sauerkraut.
There's no, but I like that you used that word anyways, because that was funny to me for different reasons.
Okay. Anyway,
yeah, they're starved for creativity. They don't have anything in their tank. They end up going to a spot in Malibu or somewhere in Southern California where a great murder happened 20 plus years prior that really doesn't have anything to do with the story. We get to see the incident before the credits, but otherwise, outside of the actual possession, it doesn't matter. We didn't need to see that. It's bah. This is not a good movie, dude. Again, the Foo Fighters are super funny dudes in doses. And for whatever reason, this movie went 30 minutes longer than it needed to be. No one said no to Dave Grohl. He wrote the story.
who's going to say no to Dave Grohl?
He's a very charismatic dude. I don't blame anybody. But, I wasn't expecting this to be the greatest movie in the world. I was expecting this to be entertaining, and it's a slog. I hated most of it. It's just not, it wasn't fun. It drags in parts, and the time length is inexcusable. It just is. So
Was Jack Black in it?
no.
What?
No. Will Forte is in it. He's funny. Whitney Cummings is in it. She's funny. Jeff Garland. He's in it. He's all right. He has a fight scene for some reason where he's a demon or a devil worshiper, or it doesn't. I checked out at some point. It's not fun. It's not a fun movie. All right. I definitely, there's some jokes that land really well. There's too much time in between it. Okay. They went all the way out for the gore on the horror special effects. That's fine, but that doesn't make the movie. So this movie would have been way more entertaining if it was shorter. Less would have definitely been more in this situation. If you're a fan of the Foo Fighters, you must be a real super fan of them to like that. Like I'm seeing a couple of people chime in and go like, "This is the greatest movie I've seen this past 3 months." I'm like, "Ooh,
Yeah, obviously.
It's
You've also
been
the
under
only
a
movie I saw
rock.
in the last 3 months.
You've been under a rock. It's the only movie you've seen in the last 3 months. You're suffering from massive head trauma." I couldn't name every Foo Fighters track. I'm a fan of theirs nonetheless, but this is not it. No,
I'm a fan of the Foo Fighters, and I'm excited to see this. But this is just seeing the trailer. Just seeing the trailer, I knew this was like, okay, one, I want to see this, but two, this is something I can wait for to be on Netflix or something like that. Like, I don't need to go to the movies to see this.
There was surprisingly nothing else coming out this week. Like I was grateful that the theater 20 minutes away from me by foot.
The one by me actually had it,
minute,
which is funny enough.
Okay, interesting. Well, there was 2 people in my theater, not including me, and that's not really unsurprising on a Thursday night. But at the same time, people are still starved for content in this post-COVID era, and yeah, I was just like, it's the Foo Fighters. Like, I expected more performances, being that it's a rock and roll horror
You expected
comedy.
more music.
I expected more music, especially when the plot is we need to produce our 10th album. No. There's a lot of not in this, so I can't recommend Studio 666.
How many
One of the
waffle
lowest
lines you giving
scores
it?
I give one waffle out of 5. I did not enjoy it. If you do enjoy this, I'm very jealous of you. Yeah, better luck next time, Dave. I feel like you'll get another movie, but I hope you hope they take away the creative control from you, because reins. You need to be reined in on this one.
Before we end the segment about movies, do you know what movie I saw over the weekend?
What'd you see, buddy?
I saw this really good movie that not many people have heard of, but I actually went to see Spider-Man.
Oh, finally!
I only went to see it. And it was awesome.
Have you not seen it before now?
I hadn't seen it before. I still hadn't seen it.
Good for you.
And I went to see it on a Friday night in Richfield, New Jersey. And
what was the crowd like?
There was probably 15 people in the theater.
Wow. Okay. That's still incredible.
Well, yeah, I was saying, when you said about how for you and there was like you and two others at the Foo Fighters one for this long out. But I loved it. It was perfect because I didn't want too many people. Not even just for the whole I don't want too many people in there because there's still COVID and all that. Just I knew it was that type of movie. I didn't want because at this point out, I could have just foreseen someone being a dick and spoiling something that's coming up. You know what I mean? I just liked it. But what I was really impressed about, because I mean, hey, if you still haven't seen Spider-Man, fast forward like 5 minutes.
I feel like everybody in the world
surely everyone
Spider-Man now, and if you haven't, you know what? It comes out on digital in 3 weeks, and it comes out on physical copy in 5. So just your loss.
What I was super impressed about was that even before I went in there, obviously I knew Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire were in the movie. I knew that was happening.
And that's the biggest spoiler in the whole thing.
Well, no, wait, so I was kind of but I still want to see it. I still want to see it. But they still had a couple of points in it that I was, even though I thought the biggest part has been ruined for me, there was still a couple of bits where I was like, oh, hey, that's pretty cool. Like with where he needed a lawyer and there was Daredevil from the Netflix show. I was like, oh shit. That's pretty cool. There was a couple of bits. It's thoroughly enjoyable. And you know what? I will commend them because whenever you do your movie reviews, you do talk about length a lot. And Marvel movies are very much guilty of being very long.
They can be.
I think because this Spider-Man was not including credits, I think 2 hours like 40. It was like a 2 hours 30, 2 hours 40, I think.
It was over 2.5 hours for sure. And you know what? I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, oh shit, that went quick.
I bet if you go back to my Spider-Man review, you don't hear me talk about the length.
Maybe not. But then the after credits annoy me. The after credits annoy me because it's like it teased and then it took away. Because
but after credits are stupid with every movie they do nowadays.
I was so excited when because I was trying to get my head around everything that happened, and then suddenly, obviously, they teased the whole Tom Hardy's Venom is now going to interact with thingy, and it's up by. But then they did that stupid bit where part of Venom was left behind, which one doesn't make sense. That how would that happen if that shouldn't have happened? But anyway, even if it did, they're kind of teasing that Venom's now going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it won't be Tom Hardy. So no, I don't want to see any other Venom. No, but it does. It does. Tom Hardy's a fantastic Venom. He deserves to do it. It's
so
not like,
all the newest rumors about the newest Doctor Strange is that we're going to get a Tom Cruise cameo as Iron Man.
Wait.
Really? Over that?
Wait. No. I'm still talking about Venom here. Do you remember, like, who's the guy from that 70s show who played Venom in the earlier Spider-Man movies?
I don't remember his name at this moment, but I know who you're talking about.
Terrible. Tom Hardy was an amazing Venom. He deserves to do it. But no, your point where you're talking about, they tease about Tom Cruise playing Iron Man. Okay, that's different. That's a cameo. And it's going to be I imagine, going to be a very brief cameo if it was to happen. But this is
the triple Spider-Man was supposed to be a cameo, and they're a big part of the film. So you never know these days. I try not to look into any rumors, and when like Bleeding Cool or soandso.net, if it's not Variety or the True Hollywood Reporter, I don't care. It's a rumor.
Anyway, I don't think Tom Cruise is going to be in the Doctor Strange movie.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think he is. Don't.
If he is, that'd be cool though. But
it would be cool, actually. To be fair, for a quick cameo, I think Tom Cruise could play a very good Tony Stark from another universe. I think that'd be fun.
And it's only because of that bullshit he did with the Ben Stiller movie. Goddamn, Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder, yes.
Yeah. Are people only allowing that to be a possibility now? Like there was a time where like Tom Cruise is not going to be in a Marvel movie. Go fuck yourself. How dare you sully his name into this?
And also,
I don't care if these things make $1 billion.
That also made people a bit weird about him.
I don't care about that.
Anyway, let's move on because let's not get too negative. Let's end the show on a high note. Let's talk about positive, all positive vibes.
Studio 666, 1 out of 5.
Sucked. But let's end the show with our feel good moment. Yeah,
Crime
it's
not
gonna be
to bob
worth
and-
that copyright
bob and weave to
strike,
it.
baby.
Crime not to bob and weave to it.
Chaka Khan.
I love you, Shaka Khan.
Feel good moment of the week. So we're gonna wrap this up real quick. Basically, what kids, everyone hates it. I mean, it's not fun when anyone's sick, but when kiddies are sick, we don't like that because kiddies should be kiddies. They should be allowed to be kiddies. I sound like that old guy from Hey Arnold. Kiddies. I want to pet the kitty. Nothing? Anyway. Kiddies.
I don't know Hey Arnold. I know it was a TV show. It was out of my bracket.
Anyway, so obviously, kiddies getting ill is not very nice. And sometimes kiddies have to go to MRI scanners, which even for adults, MRI scanners aren't fun places to be because they're obviously very closed in and very loud. And that's my impression of an MRI scanner.
Good impression.
Thanks. I've been working on it. So what Lego have found is that they're going to try to help little kiddies cope with having to have this kind of procedure. And they've created little Lego models of MRI scanners, which they're sending to hospitals so the kid and the doctor can build the MRI scanner together in Lego and kind of discuss everything. And so they kind of chill out about it. So there's less stress on the kid's side and things like that, which one is like just a super nice thing to do. But also I highlighted this, so I'm not going to have to wait 2 minutes to find it. But
you don't tell us
really
that.
Interesting. Yeah, I know, because I edited it out last week seamlessly. But anyway,
good.
They found the Lego kits after reducing the stress and anxiety of the child about to have an MRI actually meant that they could reduce the use of anesthesia because obviously they were less stress and anxiety. So which makes it even more healthy for the kid. So it's healthier for the kid and less stressful. So they started it off. It was like one guy in Denmark who used Lego and built an MRI kit out of his Lego box. And it just grew from there where Lego actually decided to make an official one. And they're offering it basically for free. But you have to, if you're a hospital, you have to go onto their website and request it, yada, yada, yada. But Lego's sending out these MRI kits. What?
Lego's not prepared to meet that expectation. All right.
Well, they're only doing 600 at a time. So they're not being super good. They're not being super amazing. They're not trying to save the world here. But still. What?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Only 600 at a time. There's more than 600 a year. That's a disappointing statistic. I'm going to be 600 hospitals at the end of this.
No, because once the kid makes the Lego and then has the MRI scan, they can break down the Lego and then give it to the next person.
They're giving that to the kid who's going to take that home and he's going to play with it in the remains of his final days.
He's only getting an MRI scan. He's not dying, Kush. Jesus.
But they're not going to return it.
No, they
And
do
you don't
it.
want other kids playing with the MRI Legos. Just,
No, Kush, they
that's
do it
unsanitary.
at the hospital before the
Mhm.
procedure.
Super unsanitary. Also a waste of time.
You know. Kush Hayes, everyone. Super happy, super optimistic.
Yeah, I think about the things you don't think about, Mike Fish. That's why you put me on the payroll.
That's why we work together. You're the yin to my yang, or the yang to my yin. I don't know which one. Which one's a good one? Which one's a bad one?
I don't know. Well, we turn us around. It's one is the other. You flip us upside down, one is the other.
Yeah. So we complement each other. So yeah,
Mhm.
feel good moment. Kids feeling happier and safer into MRI scanners and using less drugs thanks to Lego.
It's a nice gesture. I will say that.
Wow. That's all you're getting, Lego. That's as nice as this guy's fucking giving you. But there you go.
You're heroes, each and every one of you. You should all be sainted. Thank you, Patron Saint Lego.
Have you cured cancer? Fuck you, Lego.
I am not that gruff, but I still appreciated that.
There you go. Anyway, right, before we end this week's show, plugs. As I said earlier, we've got lots of content coming up on the Waffle Box universe coming up this Saturday. So on Saturday morning, up on the YouTube page and the audio platforms, there will be released the interview that I did with Ethan Johnson, aka Fine Wine 216 from YouTube. It's just really fascinating conversation, just not only about his process of creating his YouTube shows, but also we get super in depth about. I'm not even going to mention it because I'm going to butcher it, and it's going to get weird. But trust me, we go deep into a really philosophical. So if you want to get deep, check this out. It's really cool. And then Saturday night at 9:00 Eastern, live on YouTube and Twitch, I'm going to be chatting with shit. It's I just want to make sure I got the podcast right, because I always want to say classic rock podcast, but it's not. Jeremy from the Classic Guitar Rock Podcast, coming up on the Waffle Box YouTube channels and Twitch channels live Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So for all those links, make sure obviously you go to enjoywafflebox.com. Bosnet Network, what are they up to this week? What can the good people look forward to on the Bosnet.family?
Well, folks, we just dropped episode 8 or episode 2 of season 2 of the Kick-Ass Movie Podcast yesterday. Me and Master Len Kapuzinski, the director of Pact of Vengeance, we talk about Avenging Force from 1993. It's a gritty crime drama with martial arts. It's a lot of fun. It has moments where it could have been shaved down too for easier access. However, great times. Check that out. Otherwise, this week on the Microdose, we got Unnamed Footage Festival 5 on the horizon and DVD box set. Madeline Costner, she comes by to tell us what we can expect. It is one of their biggest festivals ever. Each year gets bigger than the last. This one is no different. And if you're in San Francisco, you should come on down to the Balboa, at least on the weekends. There's 2 other locations, but there you go. That's what's up.
Sorry.
Fuck you.
Couldn't resist. Anyway, yes. So check all of those out. Go to bosnet.family. Go to enjoywafflebox.com. Check out all the audio and visual goodness that you can. I am Mike Fish. You can follow me at Mr. Mike Fish on Twitter and Instagram. He is at Kush_Hayes. Just on the Twitter sphere. He's not on the Instagram yet. But there you go. And we are at Waffle Box Pod on all of those good things. So until next week, don't forget to take care of yourselves and each other.